Please share, subscribe, hit that like button for me, and let's get started with this video. The resurrection of our people. The old world must be removed to make ways for a new world. There's a universal struggle being waged by the old world against the beginning of a new world. Will the old world opposition prevent the establishment of a new world? According to recorded history, the effort being made by the old world against the beginning of a new world will fail as their former opponents of Allah. According to the history we see of Noah, the people ridiculed the very thoughts of Allah, bringing a flood to drown them. Noah was laughed at and scorned for preaching such a doctrine. According to the Bible and Holy Quran, he was called a liar and looked upon as a crazy person. Some of the members of Noah's family joined the mockers and disbelievers of Allah and his messengers, who is Noah. They met the same fate as the others who disbelieved it. The opposition of that world to of a better world was total a failure. So shall it be with those today who oppose the beginning of a new world of righteousness, Islam, in the time of Abraham and his nephew Lot, before the birth of Ismail and Isaac and Abraham, two sons, the people, mockers, and haters of truth and righteousness. In that part of the world, we see the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah have become victimized to every imaginable evil. They even threaten the life of the preacher of righteousness, Lot, disregarding the strangers. The angel visited Lot until it was too late. So it is with the opponents of the messenger of Allah today in America. The wicked always believe that they are mightier than Allah, and they make a supreme effort to thwart the plan and purpose of Allah God to bring about a better world. They always love to attack the messengers, to try to condemn him as a liar. Trying to prove the messengers a liar mean calling God a liar. The Holy Quran prophesies a miserable, shameful, and disgraceful defeat for the disbelievers and the hypocrites in their campaign against the last messengers of Allah, whom Allah will rise in the time of the resurrection of the dead people. The messengers are never sent. They always are rising in the midst of those who will warn. So they can't claim that they did not understand the language of the messengers or say that he was a foreigner or stranger. The messengers is one from them. For nearly 34 years I have served you, just as Allah, a warner of old, served a hard-headed, disbelieving people who was great lovers of the enemies of Allah, and the true religion of Islam, which means entire submission to Allah's will. There is mockery and evil plans are made against my life. by the wicked, just as there was made against Noah, the prophet. The powerful rich world of Christianity, especially America, is made to seem as movable as the mountains. But it's not impossible to remove mountains. They can be removed by high explosives. So wealth and power also could be reduced to nothing. We are now living in the judgment or doom of this white man's world. Preparation had been made to meet every effort by the white man to oppose the beginning of setting up of Allah's new world of righteousness, Islam. The governments of USA today watch my followers with an evil eye, seeking to deceive anyone who will enter the fold to help further the cause of truth and upliftments in the mourning heads and the grieving hearts of the American so-called nickel, to help make them a nation of righteousness and justice to serve as a star for their nations of their own kind forever. The U.S. government is active in its deceitful work of trying to slow the progress of the resurrection of our people. American whites want us to reject Allah and the true religion of Islam and believe in their false religions and false gods whom they cannot make manifest to you. They cannot prove to you in this day and time that Christianity is a defense for you as well as for themselves against their doom. America must be taken this way, according to the prophet, at the time and end of the wicked world, where the lost and found members of the ancients people are found. America hates and mistreats our slaves to the extent that have reached the hearts of Allah and the righteous people of the earth, the nation of Islam. Read where our black brothers refer to the American so-called Negro as their brothers, by according to the preaching of some of these lost and found members of the nation of this earth. They rather have themselves referred to as their brothers of their enemies. The extent to which the enemy has poisoned the minds and hearts of my people here in America is shameful. They willfully do anything to deceive the so-called, to going to their doom with them. There is no way for an enemy of Allah, his messengers, his people, the darkened people of the earth, to find strength, power, and wisdom enough to win in a war against Allah, as it is written in the Christian Bible and many other places. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and you with the heavens shall pass away, and with a great noise, elements shall melt with the fervent heat, the earth also and the works that therein shall be burnt up. The Bible, Peter chapter 3, verse 10. The earth shall not be burnt up. It will be here for many thousand years to come. Only that on the earth, the devil, which has sinned against Allah, God, and his laws will be destroyed. The earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars have never disobeyed Allah, God, since their creation. The opposer of truth, Adam and Eve, the father and mothers of the right race, their real name, refused the religion of Islam peace because of their nature in which they was made. This making it impossible for the white man to submit to Allah and obey his laws of righteousness. This, the lost found members of the nation from the tribe must learn of the right race, that it is a race of time to seek mercy and justice from a people who by nature do not have it for each other. They talk and preach the goodness of God and his prophets only to deceive you, who by nature are of the God of righteousness, and to fallen them away from our God, to a God who does not exist, a false God that they believed in. Now our future is at stake, and 99% of us do not know it. We see whatever evil spooners around you seeking an excuse to do their worst to you. Make it hard for the 99% ignorant to ever know the truth. The great desire is to prevent you from ever accepting the truth. They claim the truth, but they hate this real teachings. They seek any kind of charge to place against us to get revenge for our preaching the truth. They tap our telephones and follow us around from place to place and use tape recording machines. And the hypocrites stew pigeons amongst us, keep them up to date on what we say and do. They are bold enough to even ask your own relatives to help them to do you evil and do to fear and ignorancies on the parts of my poor people. The enemy hires them to destroy themselves. You see, truth hurts the guilty. Will persecution, murdering the truth, bears, helps stevedores in this late hour of their day, the end of their time. A problem must be solved, says Allah, the God of righteousness, who is with you and me to raise us up, the poor, lost, found members of the original owners of the planet Earth, the tribe. A good solution is as follows. Stop opposing the spread of Islam peace amongst us. Let us go back to our God, Allah, and our religion of Islam peace. Since you will not give the so-called Negro equal justice and do not want social mixing with your free slave because of degrading and lowering your own status in the eyes of the world, help us to go for ourselves, near out, or in your countries. For 400 years, we have served you with our labors, sweat, and blood, the lash of your whoop, your killing, lynching, burning of our innocent black flesh, without even a hearing and a court of justice, nor even our murders being punished. Although we are marched before your enemies, and there we pour our lives for the freedom of your lives, children's, and your countries. We turn home to meet an even worse enemy. We are hated and kicked out in certain places like an unwanted dog who have caught the game, but was not given a taste of it. Only that which the hunter could not and should not eat himself. The dog being too ignorant to recognize the injustice done to him by his master would jump to his feet again at the call of his master to offer his life for his master life. This we have and are still doing for you. See, we are not wanted in your better neighborhoods. In many places, we have to be guarded and protected by your armed force in order to live in a house which one of your kind has sold to us. Yet we are the most peaceful and honest of population. Yet we are taxed equally and perhaps more than those of our own kind who are the real citizen of this country of America. Though our labors of our Father made and built it for you. Now, brothers and sisters, think it over. See, millions of us working, fighting, dying at your hands, and others for 400 years without a home which we can call home, not being allowed to worship our God religion, nor have unity among self and kind without being charged with the worst crimes and seeking to overthrow the governments by force, though we had no arm to do such, just to have an excuse for you persecuting, seeking to kill the same poor 400-year-old slaves. The deceivers and the deceived. We, the whole nations of the lost found members of the black nation in America, must remember that for the past 400 years we have been reared by the enemies of our fathers, according to their own history writings, bringing us up from our native lands and people into the Western hemisphere was not for the purpose of making themselves friendly people to us and our nation, but to deceive us as being that which they actually were, not a friend and advisor to us, while at the same time depriving us of truth, justice, and equality, even now, after 400 years of servitude, slavery. We must remember that the deceiver actually had deceived us. The coming of God and the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, is to make manifest this arch deceiver who works against us and to equip with the nature of the arch deceiver. That deceits is part of his very nature. He Allah comes to give us the knowledge of the God of evil, who had freedom for the past 6,000 years to deceive not only you and me, but also the entire nations of this earth. This is the greatest starvation that Allah God could bring to you and me, to know the source of our trouble and cause. The power of the manifestators is to remove this cause, which has affected the black nation for 6,000 years. It is worth the heaven and earth to us when we agree on that, trying to make them our friends, which by nature they cannot be, even if they wanted to. Only a few have the brief of goodness. By nature, they are not good, but they can practice goodness. Our position makes us the victims of deceits of these great scientific deceivers, the right race. They put us to sleep as babies, and they know the type of noise that awakens a sleeping baby. The noise is that which Allah and the person of Master Fard Muhammad has made. And He Allah has missioned me to continue to make that noise until all of our people are fully awakened from the slumber of the arch deceiver of the nations of this earth. Surely now all are really working to keep us blind, deaf, and dumb to the knowledge of the deceivers. But the few who will help us endanger their own life in trying to help us. As you see, the Christian priests in Milwaukee profess to be trying to help those who want to live next door in the house of the children of our father slave masters having trouble. Even this easy can be classified as deceitful work against truth, freedom, justice, and equality for our people. This priest is having trouble among open, vigorous haters of you and me of his kind. This priest wants to help this poor black man here in America, especially in Milwaukee, to accept false friendship, to forever be at their mercy, to rule spiritually, economically, and politically. He's not trying to teach this black man that they should not want to sell themselves back to their slave master for a morsel of pottage. The priest knows by the scriptures in his Bible that the time is right for the total freedom of the 400-year-old slave of the white man to go to his own earth. Priest is wise to you that you should have a place to live wherever you want. He will not have dare teach this openly before this day and time, the end of this world. The others are so evil and vigorous to do us harm. We see that great gang of white people out in the streets will attack that one poor black man going through the area in his car and will yell, "Get that nigga." You see, this shows cowardice. This in that shooting that they had a few days ago in Colorado. There was a man that was in a fatal accident, and police start to pursue. He finally gets out of his vehicle, and the police start to approach him. And while the police approach him, the man was going his way, and the police, approached the man, stopped the man, pushed the man behind his back, and reached for his pistol to shoot the man in the back of his head. You see, brothers and sisters, this shows cowardice. This shows a coward action of the white man in America. You see, ever since we have been here, going after this so-called nigga to do him harm. He always want 100 rights to attack that one Negro. And why was there 30 officers on the scene after they watched the man gunned down? 30 police officers hovering a dead man right on the scene. See, this shows, my brothers, this shows cowardice and savage intentions of the right race against black people. The black man can put a stop to such of this evil force we see. But it's not the way of Allah God. It is not the way of his prediction, as the priest knows. See, the coming of God in search for the black lost members of their nation today is to make himself known so he can conquer our captors by using weapons against which we have no power. He allowed God will bring the attack of a divine judgment of the world without the use of contrived weapons. See, the weapons of war used by God in the past history of destruction of the enemy of God, such as Noah's people, Lot's people, and Moses' people, are example of what he will use today. The weapons are the force of nature against which we have no defense. America is under such divine attacks now, and storms as rain, hail, and earthquakes. The latter is yet to take place. A terrific drought is on its way too against America. The books must be fulfilled. The Bible and Holy Quran both refer to all that I said. This is the divine judgment to bring victorious America to her knees. America, hates the people of God. And the Negro do not know that they are really the people of God. This is the great truth, that you must come to the knowledge of that you are a member of the family of God, and not a member of the families of the devil. But you follow the devil's country to your own nature. The natural man, black, is of his God. We have been deceived for righteousness, justice, and equality by the arch deceivers. We have been taken from the knowledge of self as being a true people of God, and that God is present, seeking us to place us again into the orbit of divine supreme being, where we can rotate into submission to the will of God as the universe is doing, except the right ways. We cannot set up a better government for our people by using the corrupt political activities of this people, the arch deceivers. All of their work was based upon deceiving the nation, not to bring them into friendly brotherhood and prosperity for the black man. Even today, after 100 years of the so-called freedom, he is still, my brothers and sisters, against you going free. This is your trouble today. You are deceived and deceived by the enemy you think is a friend, but take notes of what he's offering you. He is offering you only temporarily enjoyment, and not a permanent enjoyment for your people. We want some earth and not a temporary room in a house of our enemies. Let the political and spiritual leaders unite on such a stand as getting some earth for the people and not getting just a job and a chance to lower around sleeping, allowing the enemy to protect our responsibilities for self. We must bear our own responsibilities. This, the God of justice and truth will force you to do before he will be defeated. His purpose and aim is to unite us to our own. He will fight the arch deceiver with the force of nature and with his own wisdom, which has no equal, to make you an enemy bow to his will. This is the judgment of the world, and especially of the white man in America, who have been here for 400 years, living between the two oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific, to do as he pleases. The slave is deprived of freedom to do as he pleases, but to do as this slave master pleases. A great misunderstanding of self and others lies the deceits of the arch deceiver of us. They will never teach you and me to do good for self, only under their own powers and dictatorship. What we need is unite, not demanding and marching all over the country to live near the white man in his home, but demand a separate place for us in this country and to help us with the means of civilization, as he had to get started limiting the time to get started within the next 20 or 25 years. See, many scientists thinks that it's too late for this demand because of the anger of Allah God against America for evil done to us. But Allah has power over all things, and he does that which he will do. It is up to white America, if she wants to help us. It will be a great good putting us on the way to self by any evil one or nation. God of justice will grant them a reward for doing such, as no good act goes without its reward. The deceived is so-called under temptation, filth. They promise that they will be given jobs and new homes next door to them in the same territory which their very nature is against, and which is without any future. It is temporary enjoyment. We want something permanent. Give us a few of these states to live in to ourselves, which we have well earned with 400 years of free labor. When you see that his life and your life are at stake, to try to accept the pleasant plans filled with deceits, to a Negro, both you and he will welcome an opportunity to agree on the kind of program. Unite with me, Black America, for your starvation. Never since the creation of Adam and Eve have there been such time as we are witnessing today, with the worst yet to come. There is no peace amongst the nations of this earth. The only few people who enjoy peace of mind and contentment in this day and time are the elect of God. Though they are persecuted from city to city, falsely accused and denied the credit due them because of the righteousness and the malice of the wicked who have ruled the world. By no means can the righteous be represented for the righteous' sake by the evildoers of the world. We see God is despised and rejected. We see evil is accepted, and honor and justice stands far off, and equity cannot come in, said the prophet Isaiah in the Bible. Holy Quran warns us to fear a day when evil is spread far and wide. In the days of God's presence, at the end of the satanic world, to bring it to nothing. Allah God calls the evil world to be upset, since they have been the enemies of peace and the haters and destroyers of the righteous, who have brought them peace if they had accepted those worthy of the prophets. But they reject all Jesus charged them with, being the murderers of the righteous, from Abel to Zechariah. And we can very well add more instead of from Abel to Muhammad. Today, America professes to be the most Christianized countries on our planet, but actually she is not. But Christian means to be Christianized to one. Spiritually, that one refers to the Christ. Christ means the one who is coming at the end of the world, of the wicked as a crusher. The name actually means one who is anointed to crush the wicked. The real satanic people are the right race, who have disgusted themselves to deceive the black people to follow them. They just use the name Christian, which means to be Christ-like. They have set up a head for the religion in Rome, Italy, but the Pope Father, who represents himself as being one who is second only to Christ, to intercede for the people's sins in recognition of God. But he has no divine backing. See, this false should be destroyed by the Christ, the crusher of the wicked, the great Mahdi of Islam. Allah God in person. These are the days of God, of Christ's presidency, to destroy this evil world with all deceptions, that the people should again labor under a wicked ruler, the devil. The presidency of Allah has upset the devil, who had and exercising control over the world under falsehood and had made evil to appear fair seemingly. The so-called Christian world had never before displayed such madness as they do today. Since they cannot hide their wickedness and deceitful ways, they are angry today. According to their preaching and this teaching of Christianity, they prophesy that they alone will be the happy group that will welcome the coming of the Messiah, the Christ, or the Mahdi. But the Bible condemns them. They was angry and sought to hide their faces from him and God. It should be clear to you today that Christian America does not want such preaching as entire submission to the will of Allah, Islam. The Christian hates the very name of God, such as Muhammad, which are attribute of God. See, the Jesus prophesies that they will hate you for his God's namesake, having one of his names, because the name of God are to live forever. No, the name of God are to live forever. No other people on earth have the names of God but the Muslims. So the coming of just one makes manifest to you this evil race of sinners, and they will be against this God's presence and be angry because of him who will seek to destroy him and his messengers, as it is prophesied in 2 Psalms. Every nation have a term, we see. So when a term comes, they cannot remain behind the least while, nor can they decide. The Holy Quran, Surah 7, chapter 34. There was a term for the people of Noah and Lot and Moses. This also holds truth and life and death of individuals. All is under control of Almighty. Allah, God, especially when a divine beginning and ending have been appointed for the accomplishment of certain work that must be done by life for the life of people. The above chapter and verse of the Holy Quran is a warning to a present nation whose term is now coming to an end. If we know what is said to us, what is written by the prophet for us, to read, study, and ponder over, and if we understand, we should not fall victims to misunderstanding and disbelief. Trouble with the black man in America is that he is heedless of the truth, for he was weirded by the slave foster parents who is his enemy, the white race. They caused him to become heedless. It was the intention of an enemy to make this black man an enemy to the truth as himself was and is. The enemy was successful in doing. For the black man in America is referred to as being blind, deaf, and dumb, in many instances as dead. This is the work of the enemy. Therefore, it took one who is our friend and not our enemies to do good to us and to restore us to life mentally. The children of the father's slave masters who took our life mentally are working just as faithfully as their fathers did. However, since 100 years have elapsed from the time of the slave fathers, the children are wiser and educated more in method to keep the black man in America blind, deaf, and dumb. In the days we see a surge to slavery, our grandparents, the white slave master did not even give them good food. Today you can buy good food if you have the money. However, much of it is poisoned by chemical use. See, the white slave master will offer a piece of fried chicken and a butter on a biscuit to a so-called nigger as an introducement for him to teach or preach what the slave master wanted him to all of the other slaves on that Sunday morning. See, the slaves did not have the theology of scriptures. And he made his other brothers spiritually blind, deaf, and dumb. Same goal for these preachers we see here today. As you can see, they preach for a reward for both whites and blacks and tried them for many years. They are as their fathers were. The desire to worship the white man. They want him to give them better positions. And they will often cut off the heads of their black brothers if it will please their master. See, although I live in a neighborhood with white neighbors, I do so for the purpose of proving that I can live in a neighborhood just as cleanly and noisily as they do. White people do not like you to come to their neighborhoods, be jumping on them and licking them in the mouth like a puppy. They do not want their friends to think that they are taking you for an equal. He will talk to you as a friend when he is not in the presence of members of society. They do not like you coming to their blocks, beating your wife or girlfriends, and drinking in front of their house. You see, no decent, intelligent person likes this. But he is white as snow or black as the ace of spades. You can go to the jungles and you will not want this late at night. He and a gang of monkeys will come out and beat you up. American so-called nigger had been made out of himself in kind by white Americans. He must now be reformed. In fact, God has promised him a new body. The Bible, Holy Quran, teach us that we will be a new people altogether. We will destroy and act ignorant and foolish. He is not aware of his ignorant actions. because he had become a part of ignorancy. Now the end of the term which was set for the white man have come. The average so-called Negro, the lost found members of the black nation, does not know that this is the end of the world of the white man, his rule over the black nation. He will not listen to one of his own kind who tells or teaches him of the time we see and doom of the world that we have known, white man's world. They offer high positions and money to a so-called Negro intellectual politicians who will work against the good of the black American people. They will accept such, but they have been deprived of love for self and kind. Now, what do they care about the millions who are in the mud of civilization? See, they are content as long as they eat that butter biscuit and fried chicken as they slave fathers did. You will not think that they will hire themselves out to be stool pigeons. You see, white man bootlickers, Uncle Tom's, sissy pies. In these modern times of advanced education, but they are doing just that. They do not want the praise of God and their own black people. They want it from their slave master children. The slave master children will give it to them as long as they reject themselves in kind and worship white people. The white man is very clever in making a puppet fool of this black man. Show the brown, yellow, and red man what a good job they have done on the black man in America and throughout the earth. He's doing what nature bid him to do. I do not blame the white man anymore for making fools of our people today. It is the nature of this white man to make a fool of our people, but it's not the nature of our people to allow him to make a fool of us. But when you have been given a knowledge of yourself, the nature in which God created you, you still allow the enemy to make a fool of you, then you do not have the sympathy of God and the righteous, not after knowledge. The divine term that was given to the right race to allow them to make a fool of the black man and rule him with tricks is now up. The devil with his tricks must be removed. He was given this chance to deceive you with his trickology, and therefore God will not hinder the devil from tricking you if he can. This is written in the Holy Quran, chapter 7. But God promised hellfire to both the devil and his followers, whom he can get from the black nation. Therefore, you and I, after the knowledge of the devil, his tricks, his terms, shall not blame anyone but ourselves. If we allow the devil to trick us, for that is the job of the devil. It is his nature. We blame ourselves and not the enemies. We lust for his have new women and thirst for whiskey and beer. We desire gambling, robbing, and killing each other for the personal properties of others. See, this is the work of the devil upon you. You do not have to allow him to cause you to live such a life. Do not blame them. Blame your foolish self. It has always been the policy of the white man to use a black man against a black man, especially leaders. Look at history. See how he had deceived and killed off black leaders of foreign lands, and then they took over themselves? This should be a lesson for you and me. We, the Muslims, have watched it. Our people who have come amongst us as eyes and ears and stewed pigeons for white folks. When they have become converted to the truth and join us, they confess that they are ashamed that they have worked it against us for the sake of a few perishable dollars. We know that the white man is our enemy. Whoever we are, he offers some silly so-called nigger a high office and higher pay to work against us Muslims, the righteous, or any so-called nigger, whether he be a Baptist, Methodist, Holy Roller, or Sanctified. Some lazy so-called nigger will work against him for the white man. It is a shame in such modern time to see black politicians and preachers accepting position to work against their own black people for a few dollars from a race whose time have come to an end. We are justified in taking it if the white man give us $1 billion or $100 billion. We deserve it, but we are not justified to sell our lives for such a gift in this day and time. Declare yourself a Muslim and see how much the devil will give you. We say we will give it to you if you preach that we are not devils, and we will answer that it's just the same as saying, if you do not teach the truth of me, so that I can continue to deceive the world of your kind, I will help you. Now remember what the Bible teaches us, that Satan said to Jesus, all these things I will give you if you will fall down and worship me. Matthew 4:9. And he showed him the kingdoms of the world. Perhaps you will be offered the world of this wicked pretty soon. If so, the Bible says, what profit a man if he gains the world and lose his own life soul? This is a warning to the preachers. The little money with his dying value will not help you against God's aim and purpose of the resurrection of the dead, lost, found members of the nation. You lose your lives. For so doing, you should. We have caused innocent ones who are blind, deaf, and dumb to go to hell with yourself and enemies. Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, the Son of Man, as it is written, seeking to save that which was lost, and to restore it again, that which has gone astray. He said to me that he would eat the rattlesnake to save our lives, and that he will walk 40 miles up a mountain to teach just one in order to save his life in exchange for our safety and return to our own. I have taken him for my God and my Savior. I advise you to do the same, regardless of the offer of the money, which is fast becoming worthless. Jesus refused the money and dwelt upon the truth that is written, that we must not worship Satan. Satan placed it behind us and not in front of us. It is the nature of Satan to try to deceive the very angels in heaven, not to think of the fools who are in his hell. In the Bible Revelation, it is written that you will accept the enemy and go down in a lake of fire with him. Read the following passage of your Bible with Joe on the time of yourselves. The American white people are more concerned today about mistreating the black one slave of America than America is concerned with any nation on earth that is attacking her outlying posts. Our enemies are intensifying the attack on her. America right out of the frying pans into the fire all over the earth due to her evil intentions against her loyal black once slave. Her talk of evil doing against the black one slave in America is worse than it is against independent nations that they are trying to attack and destroy her countries. White America has more hatred for the black one slave and her millers who are faithfully fighting on the frying line to help her against her enemies than she is against the enemies that they are shooting down. While America talks of building concentration camps, prison house for the black one slave, the black man in America. I'm told that white America already have concentration camps built for this purpose. You see, concentration camps are jailhouse, prison houses. This is why I cry day and night to my black brothers to seek refuge in Allah, God, in such a time as this. The Muslims do not have to worry about any such imprisonment, for the Muslim is already a citizen of the Nation of Islam. And we have our own people, Muslim, to deliver us by the order of God. This is why it is so necessary that the black man in America accept Allah, God, and his names, and get out of the names of the enemy, white slave master, who does not seek to bring about peace for us, but enemy seeks to bring about our death. White America wants her black one slave to suffer that which is not due to the black one slave. The black one slave has not sinned, nor has the black one slave attacked other nation, except under the orders of his white slave master. Now, who independency? Since 1776, you black men have been worshiping the 4th of July, along with the real authors of the 4th of July, the white man, as a day of independency for themselves. It is the white slave masters and his children who enjoy setting forth the 4th of July as a day of rejoicing over achieving this country of independence from any other forging source. Now, the history of the 4th of July shows that it is the Independence Day of the American white man that wrote their Declaration of Independence for themselves. The white man did not put anything in the Declaration of Independence for the benefits of the black man, who was the servitude slave of the white man at that time. The joy which the black slave experienced on these holidays of the white man was due to the black man getting rest from his labor and the days which the white man has set aside for celebration. That is all the black slave will rejoicing over, that he did not have to work that day, but you are free now and do not need this for an excuse for your worship of the 4th of July. There is no further need for us to worship the ganging of the white man's independence. Let us take a look again at our own black independence and how it came on the same day of the 4th of July, at the coming of Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. His coming to us on the Independence Day of the white man is very great. See, it is their day of great rejoicing, you see, as with former people and their governments. The destruction took place when it was at the heights of the rejoicing. The kings, according to the Bible history of him, we see in Daniel chapter 4, was walking around in his palace and proudly looking around and admiring the skills of the work he had set up. It says, "Have now all this my hands have made?" The Bible teaches us that while the word was in his mouth, we see the end came. Allah God changed his mind and heart from that of a civilized man to a mind and heart of a beast. He have the brain reaction of a wild beast, and he was cast out amongst the dumb. Now, what does that signify? It gives us a gleam into the history of this white man and his being cast out of society of the Muslims 6,000 years ago after he was made, and then started trouble amongst the people of righteousness. See, troublemaking caused this white man into the hills and cave sides we see of West Asia, as Europe was called at that time. So Allah God taught me a name was changed to Europe after the white man was cast to that area. Europe means a place where people are bound in to keep them out of society of the righteous. Moses made the white man as an independent race through the guidance which Allah God gave Moses to guide the white man out of their savage cage lives and put them on the road of conquest of the black man. For 400 years, the white man swallowed us, the black man of America, up. He did not put us in the hole of the earth, but he swallowed us up by keeping anything like wisdom from coming to us. He set it down against our own black people visiting us in order to prevent them from teaching us anything other than what the white man was teaching our black slave fathers. This caged us in and made just as secure a cage as the lure cage of Europe that the Arab people put the white man in 6,000 years ago. The 4th of July is a day of rejoicing of the white man over his opponents for the Western Hemisphere. He wrote his constitution for his own white people and not for his black slave. Since this is his day, which he has set aside for himself, then what part, black brothers, do you have in this day? The part is not mixed with his part, in a way of his own white politics and physical independency. But as I call your attention to proud King history and what happened to him at the heights of his kingdom, Allah God never destroyed powerful people, nor deprived them of self-independency when they was in trouble or when they were sick with grief. He made them to feel happy. He made them think that they would live forever. So it was the coming of Allah God, the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, on his coming to us on the 4th of July, 1930, his presidency meant the destruction of independence of the white race, especially America, over the black man. Allah God visit the black slave, for he is more in need of help to enjoy freedom itself. Since Allah God came for the purpose of bringing self-independency to the black slave, then his going forth is with justice. The Bible, Revelation 19, verse 11. To show Allah God's greatness and power over the slave master and his people. Now Allah God attacks them at the heights of their civilization and at the greatness of their power and strength on the 4th of July. Why they worship the greatness of their accomplishments, and the black slave is sitting at his feet. As it was with the king and as it was with Pharaoh, we see the same as being repeated today. This is the coming of Allah God on the 4th of July. For 400 years, we have been suffering under servitude slavery and at the relentless hands of this white slave master over us. Allah God came to give justice and freedom to us and to make us equal members in society of a new, powerful, strong, and wise people of this earth. Ever since that day, the 4th of July, 1930, have meant the doom of American domination over the black man of America and the black people of the earth. Ever since that day, America has been falling. America's fall is now going on. America refused to break her fall when she could have broken her fall, as the Bible teaches us. Babylon could have been healed, but she was not. Jeremiah 51, verse 9. She did not do anything to want such forgiveness. America had been offered a chance for forgiveness, but she refused to accept it. For she never offers to do anything favorable towards her black slave that will make them free of her powers to rule them. Black slaves went to their death fighting the enemy of the white slave masters to help America to maintain her independence against foreign dominancy. The black slave was not given anything in exchange for a sacrifice. When a dog hunt for a hunter, the hunter master sometimes shared a part of the game with the dog. The black slave have helped his master to overcome and to put other people under control of his white slave master. The black slave have fought, died around the earth to help the white slave master to conquer those whom the master called his enemy. We helped this white man to conquer Cuba and to overcome and subdue Mexico and the Philippine Islands and other places around the earth, and also Japan. Now, how many lives did the black man lose in the Pacific while helping this white man to conquer the people of Japan, who are the brown half brothers of the black man? The brown race and the yellow race are the half brothers of the black man. Who independency? Now the white man and the black man are both free on this day. The coming of Allah God on this day means the freedom of the black man too. The clear significance of Allah God coming on this day shows this great wisdom of Allah God. And everywhere this white man may be, even in Europe, the earth belongs to the black man. Let us rejoice on this day, the 4th of July, and the coming of Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, and give thanks to him. Let us enjoy the independence he brought to us, and the freedom, justice, and equality. He brought these things to us, not by killing off the red Indians, nor any original settlers. Justice and righteousness are used by Allah God. Independence means to be free of the dominancy of others. It is a very happy feeling for one to enjoy self-freedom. The right race in the Western Hemisphere takes this day of July 4th, 1972, to be a day to worship and remembrance of achieving independence from other people. The white race in the Western have to conquer the Indians who had an independent claim on a country now called America. Then the white race in America cut off the ties of England and France and became the independent holders of this present country called America and the Western Hemispheres. See, the white race was not satisfied with only a new country to itself. They wanted the country built up. But the white man was afraid to trust himself to build the country up. So he goes to other countries that was uncivilized and uncivilized Africa. From Africa, he took our black people as slaves and used us for our labor purpose. Now the white race have achieved those desires. And now he has the glorious things that man can enjoy. Freedom. The country of America cannot be said to be the white man's own. But having the freedom and the power to overcome the natives, Indians of this country, the white race in America takes this day, July 4th, to celebrate the joy of independence of others. As thou hast done, so shall be done to you. Someone's about to take away your joyful independence. The white race here in America have done the worst to the black people who helped this white man to build up the country of America and to make it suitable and to bring this joyful independence. But the white race in America have angered God due to the evil done to us after 400 years here under this wicked white race. The white race still desire to mistreat and to kill us all day long by sending a special police task. The white man hates his black slave, while the black slave should be hating this white man for mistreating the black slave. But the white man makes the black slave to love him so well that when the white man mistreat him, the black slave will not dislike the white man for mistreating him. Now the time of God has arrived. The time that Allah God must separate the black slave and his white slave masters and bring freedom to the black slave. So we see the power of our enemies being broken by God and destroying the powers of the white man's powers to maintain his slave over the whole world. Independency is fine if we can keep and maintain independency. But there's a dark cloud of trouble now springing over the country of America. The dark cloud makes her once freedom of thought, and action becomes instead a freedom of death, hell, and destruction. It is awful to think over the things of evil and the trouble that are now coming upon the glorified North America. The poor black slave number now into tens of millions of black people never knew anything of the joy of freedom because of this victorious enemy, like a young lion, as Daniel gives it in the Bible, has made the black slave a prey to all of the wicked white man desires. Now, what do we have to celebrate? In fact, that the white man is enjoying freedom over us and celebrate this white man's independency. See, today we'll make a fool out of ourselves. We cannot celebrate his day. The only time that we, the black people, have a day to worship and are able to call a day our day of freedom is when we are free from white America and free from any other nation. Become independency with some of this earth that we can call home. Then we can say that this is a freedom day and holiday for us. Black sisters and black brothers, let us unite and get together and try to go from that what binds us to others. See, the white man trichology is always being trumpeted to the world that they are peace lovers, as though they want all people, as they falsely claim to be free and to live in peace, while they are sitting on and crushing between 20 and 30 million black people in America who was the servitude slave 100 years ago. Now, for 100 years, we see the slave master children falsely claim that we are free and that they are trying to treat us as free people. It have come to me that in the states of Alabama, in the country of Alabama, there are big plantations owned by white people and their stately white houses set up on hills. Slaves living in a surrounding stock. These black people work hard for very small pay. It's said by some that the salary ranged from 25 cents a day to $2.50 a week. We see rough clothes to work in are furnished to them. This kind of slave labor goes on through generations. One generation after another is subject to this slave way of life at what is called a free world. In order to keep these black people in this type of slavery, the owners have mounted a guard patrolling the plantation with a shotgun lying across his lap and a saddle of his horse to see that there is no black interference from the outside to entice the black slave on the inside of his plantation to come in a better area for better wages. These people grow up there and they die there on the plantation. Some of them never knew civilization. They are satisfied because they know no other life but the slave life that the fathers and grandfathers have been living under. Now, this is happening right in the South, back to our forefathers' day. Now, just think that if you go into the South and you go into a white market now, and they purchase you a gun, and you in the South, you know, white folks ought to be careful how to approach you, because they know how that thing that you can use hurts, you know. So when I see the hurting that my people have in the South, they'll be quick to kill you and ask these questions later. But white folks today, they ought to be careful because that thing hurts, brothers. If you was to use it today, they'll know with all the pain we went through, they know that thing will hurt. So now we hear this kind of slavery goes on not only in the country, Alabama, but in other states we see as Mississippi and Georgia. A year ago, when I was a young man in Georgia, I heard that such slavery on large plantations was going on in certain areas in Georgia. See, our people will go to the farm there, and the poor man probably owns another white farmer. And this white farmer pays the debit that he owns the other white farmers. And then the black slave become the slave, the balance of his and his family life on the plantation of this white man who pays the debit to a previous white plantation owner. See, as long as he lived, he never pays that debit. See, this is the worst injustice and the most cruel slavery of all. They are shot and killed or beaten to death if they are found trying to leave the plantation. See, the white owners make other blacks of the same plantation under fear of being informers of what is said and planned by the blacks. It has been told to me in my young life that certain rivers, lakes, water, wilderness, like place carrying receipt on the bones and skulls of many black slaves from these plantations and so-called freedom times and the age of slavery by the laws of this government and the world. But in southern states where Miss George Wallace was running for president, he can make every black man and woman in the South vote for him under fear. These black people are afraid to disobey white people in high office. And even an old white farmer who is hardly able to buy himself a new overall suit. The black people in the South have been brought up for many years and for centuries to fear white people. Where there is no freedom we see or chance to get out among free people. The black people become the most ignorant and the most terrifying people of whites that there are in the country of America. And the white man knows this. You see, he gets rich today. See, he builds himself a fine, luxurious home on a plantation. And as far as he can see, he claims that the land is his. And the poor slaves are living in the worst stocks. When rain comes, some of them have to go to the walls of their houses with piles to catch the rain coming through their almost open roofs. When winter comes, they are setting up to their fireplaces trying to keep warm. These are the worst living conditions of human beings that could even be in the jungle of Africa, where they do not have sawmills or bricks to saw timbers into limbers and to mold bricks. America have everything necessary to make a slave a good warm home, cold home, and to give a slave a good living wage, because our fathers for 400 years have already supplied it, the wealth for us today to be giving good substantial wages for our necessary life. It is pitiful to go into these southern areas out in the ritual district and see how after 400 years the wicked sunburnt, killed-nosed, tobacco-juice-mouth, blue-eyed devils are plunking our people down to such slavery condition. You see, crushing them to death and diseasing them. Children are coming up suffering from malnutrition. Fevers and other diseases capture them and take them to their pine box grave or to the hole in the ground in the South without anything like honor or their death. They are buried and rough pine wooden boxes. The black man of America is so mistreated by 400-year-old white slave masters and the slave master children that you just cannot describe any other mistreatment of human beings to equal the evil and ill treatment that the black man has and still suffer in white America. In many towns we see in cities of the southern states, even in their capitals, you will find a black man living in a very bad condition. His toilet is sometimes an open, boarded up place stinking right there in the cities. And diseasing the citizens because we see that evil demon, the white man who wants to give all the ill he can to a people who have served him as slaves for 400 years. This is going on in the South. Go see it for yourself. The U.S. mail comes into these towns and cities. In some places, we see black people are forced to walk to a drugstore and ask a drugstore owner for their mail. And then they are treated like dogs as though the white devil are giving him something free, while the sinners of the mail have paid the tax for the postal carriers to bring it to the other doors. Little black children are walking around with sore pus, running out of them for a lack of medical attentions. You see, little black children are dying today of diseases, right in this false freedom of this old USA. See, the black people are carried down by this victorious enemy who keeps his gun loaded to blow them down. And every happy, one-sided, grinded mouth policeman or sheriff seeking just the slightest chance to kill a nigger. You won't have to say to his brother devil judge that he has to kill a Negro. And the judge look at him and give him a big smile and a hand clap as though he did not kill enough. You are to kill all of them. See, I have heard from their mouth when I lived in the South that there was too many Negroes in the South, and the white people should kill all some of them. There are more Negroes than whites, and the white man should kill all some of these Negroes. What chance does this black man have under the shadow of American governments for freedom, justice, and equality? I thank Allah, the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, who has come to deliver this black man in America and to kill our oppressors. This is very good, and we should be shouting day and night that deliverer has come. The revelation of the Bible has given these people the right name, a beast, and the most description does the revelation gives. In Daniel the Bible, this people is described as a beast rising up out of the sea with 3 ribs of a man in his mouth. This is the description of white America with the black slaves swallowed for 3 centuries and the power of our enemies, the devils. The black man of the South will be a fool to vote for any white man of the South to rule him. You should stay away from the poll because the white man from whom he vote is the enemy of his. He's bound to tighten the shackles tighter than ever. They preach and enforce the law, and that law is unjust law directed against the black man. Vote for Allah and for his servants, Elijah Muhammad, and by the power of Allah God, who have come in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. All of the prophecies of the Bible of what he would do in freeing the black man of America will be fulfilled. Let us submit to him and live in peace with money and good homes and with the friendship of God and the righteous. There is nothing that you have to fear today but God himself. It is useless for us to fear our enemies after the coming and presence of God, who has power over the very atom of life. For it's fear of this white man that will cause our people to eat the fire of hell with the white man, if they do not recognize the fact that it is God whom they should fear and not the devil. The world of the white man is now crumbling and coming to nothing. The safety of the black man is his God. As the Holy Quran teach us, in this day and time, seek refuge in Allah, God of the black man. He is the only place of refuge. We have made America one of the richest and strongest people on earth. Her mighty navies command the high seas, with her undersea cliff crawling on the bottom of the oceans, carrying deadly weapons to surface and pour out on towns and cities other than America, and with listening devices set up throughout the earth, on land, sea, in the air, to listen to see what people are saying about her and planning against her, knowing she is guilty and deserving of death, and that she should be taken and destroyed. She hath prepared to put up a mighty battle. But Allah too hath prepared, and he is the best prepared, knowing their thoughts before they was ever made. They had not the slightest chance today against the power of Allah that is working against them, even through the force of nature. The white race have been disgracing the entire black nation of the earth. Africa is suffering under the same wicked power of the white race and having an awful time of trying to rid herself of such a demon. She will do so, and soon. Here in America, Almighty Allah God wants to make himself known with both the punishment and the destruction of this mighty, powerful, rich people. Fear not, my dear black people, for we have Allah with us. He is a mighty and a strong and the most powerful one to be feared. Come follow me, and I'll lead you to your starvation. Now, according to the article we see in November 25th of November 1969, we see an issue of the Wall Street Journals written by Mr. Neil Maxwell. We see staff reporter. According to reports of our farmers, we see the Muslim properties and life are being attacked by a devil. We see Mr. James H. Bishop, who called himself a missionary. He has started attacking us for a fight. See, the Muslim had lost a couple of heads of cattle by gunshots penetrated by some coward, according to reports from Mr. Neil Maxwell. This demon, Mr. James H. Bishop, seeks to bring himself and American people into a war with Allah God and the righteous, which will be the end of America and our people. We the Muslims are a people of peace and have and are proving ourselves to be just that all over America. Of course, this demon, Mr. James H. Bishop, is proving himself to be just what he is made to be, a mischief maker. As Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, has taught me that he is. I warn this troublemaker that he is playing with fire, and a very hot fire, for he is not attacking Elijah Muhammad and his followers, but he is attacking Allah God, who welcomes the attack. But this is what he came for. As sure as Allah God live, we will convert every black man in America to his or her own, and this includes those in Alabama. Look at the Muslim condition in Alabama. We went there to buy a piece of land from a citizen in Alabama, and then some white enemy appears who called himself a preacher of the gospel of Jesus. But he did not forget to preach the gospel of the devil along with it. This devil, Miss Bishop, we hired him when we first went to the farm in Alabama. We worked for the farm, digging holes to help us to get set up. So he had worked for us. And we had paid him for his work. So at this time, we see he says nothing to us in a way of charging us with being there illegally. See, why did he hire out to us? Why did he help us to get set up on our farms? We hire him and pay him for the work, and there is no talk from him in the manner in which he is talking today. So this man has now turned to be an open enemy today, and that is secret enemy. He even goes so far now to even talk of killing us and asking us for a fight. We are losing cattle from bullet wounds, and he is speaking in a direction of even destroying our properties and cattle. He even makes it hard for us to buy gasoline. And the most ignorant and worst things that the gas attendants sell us the gasoline, and then we are arrested and charged with a crime for buying the gasoline instead of charging the man who sold it to us. It is very ignorant and silly. We have brought the land and cattle in Alabama. We mean to get the profit out of what we buy. And if the government of Alabama intends to drive us out from our properties, they will have to buy us out, not drive us out. If the government of Alabama is in an agreement with the white people in Alabama and what they are doing against the Muslims, then I want to say to the whole white America that we have Allah God on our side to retaliate against anyone who mistreat us. We did not go down there with rifles and guns to shoot anyone. We are Muslims and the brother of Muslims. If we are not accepted by our brother Muslims, we are most certainly have been accepted by the God of Islam. Allah, whose proper name is Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, who came to us without observation, as it is written of him. However, he makes his work manifest. The Nation of Islam idea, again, is to build better countries and homes for the black people. I said to the whole American white people that you can never win against anyone outside or inside of America as long as you seek to mistreat us. As it is written in this Bible, he who contained with us, Allah God, will contain with him and give them their blood to drink like sweet wine. So remember, we are the people of Allah God. See, we made no trouble with anyone, but Allah God will retaliate against anyone who made trouble for us or who seeks to do us harm. The decline of the dollar. The stronghold we see of the American governments is falling to pieces. She had lost amongst the nations of this earth. One of the greatest power of America was a dollar. The loss of such power will bring any nation to weakness. For this media of exchange between nations, the English pound and the American dollar have been the power and the beckoning light of these two great powers. But when the war went off, we see the gold and silver and standard, the financial doom of England and America was sealed. The pound had lost 50% of its value. American dollar had lost everything now as power backing for her currency, which was once backed it by gold from every $5 note and up. And all of her currency was backed by silver from a dollar note up. Today, the currency we see of America is not backed by any sound value of silver or gold. The note today is something that the government declared that they will give you the return and value, but does not name what that value is. But they definitely are not backing their currency with silver or gold. This is the number one fall we see. It's very clear that the loss of the power of American dollar means the loss of the financial power of America. But what happens since there is no sound backing for notes? See, we do not know. What should we expect even in the next 12 months on the fall of a power of American dollar? This means that we have 100% inflations. What could happen under 100% inflations? See, your guess is as good as mine. The power of gold and silver was once bound in America. But the touch of the finger of God against the power of so mighty a nation has now caused the crumbling and fall of America. We can easily and truthfully liken the fall of America to the prophet picture given in the Bible. Revelation John 18, verse 2. The name Babylon used there does not really says whether it is ancient Babylon or a picture of some future Babylon. The description gives as follows. He, the angel, cried mightily with a strong voice, with authority, saying, Babylon, the great America, is falling. Is fallen. It becomes the habitation of devils. Allah declared the people to be a race of devils, and the whole every foul spirit received, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. The description here gives to the Babylon by the prophet compared with the present history and people of America and their falls. The picture shows the cause of a fall. Number one, she had become the habitation of devils, and being the habitation of devils make her a haven for every people that love the work and doing of the devil. Here, the prophet refers to them as being a whole of every foul spirit received, in the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. People are referred to as birds, snakes we see, beasts, fish, and other animals to tell represent the characteristics of that person. It is universally known that the very beginning we see of American people was from the lower class of European peoples. And their first ruler received, President Washington, was a fugitive from England, and a common dissatisfied and lower grades of European people followed and boasted his authority. This field inhabited America with a very low class and low base people. And then this type of people went to Africa and purchased slaves from amongst our people, who was also uneducated, most of them, but there was a few who was highly educated. All of these people began to mix with lower base and evil mind will citizens of this Western whites. And when America began to get strong in power, she opened her doors to unprivileged and laborers and overpopulated countries we see as China, Japan, and Europe to seek citizenship in America. This brought into America one of the most mixed people who was granted the freedom to live any kind of life they choose. That was not forced to serve the God of the universe who made heaven and earth, nor any religion. They have freedom of worship. This make America a haven for any people who wish to be free of the competitors of religions and just rule and authorities. This people for the past 500 years have put into practice every evil that is imaginable. The freedom of uncleanness is granted in this worship. The percentage of sexual worship of the same sex is greater than any government on the face of this earth. Little children are being taught sex almost from the cradle, making the whole nation, we see as one man put it. Nearly 90% freak of nature. It is common to see on the streets of any metropolitan city of America, man sweetheart with man and woman sweetheart with woman, little boys with boys and little girls with girls. It is common that a decent family is puzzled as to where to send their children for schooling, as there's no all girls schools as they once were.